Let's be real. The San Francisco Bay Area is the sports capital of the world. Come on, the Giants, the Niners. And next year on February 7th, it is going to play host to the big game, Super Bowl 50, right here in the San Francisco, Northern California Bay Area. Our guest today, Jason Trimiew, is going to tell us all about those plans. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
You know, so I was joking with you before the thing started. I spent my childhood knowing a lot about football because I was trying to get my dad to pay attention to me versus the game on TV. So I was a football brat. Having it here is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's been 30 years since we had Super Bowl here, last time at Stanford Stadium. So a very different stadium now at Levi's in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
But also it's the 50th. You know, we had the first Super Bowl here in California. We now get to host the 50th. So it's a big deal to the region. It's a big deal to the National Football League.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of me as a 3-year-old sitting on my dad's lap going, that's the first Super Bowl. Oh, my God. And like, so you're dating me. I do appreciate that. But for our viewers, I think they would be interested to know that there's some stuff this year for this big game that is specific to the LGBT community in specific, but also to nonprofits. It's never been done in Super Bowl history.
That's right. So when we bid for Super Bowl 50, we wanted it to be about more than the game. We wanted it to be something that could lift up the Bay Area region. So two specific initiatives. The first that we launched was called Business Connect. This was last fall. It's a program that's connecting diverse Bay Area businesses to contracting. Obviously, there's a big economic footprint from a Super Bowl. And for the first time ever, the program, in its definition of diverse businesses, is including LGBT-owned businesses that are certified in partnership here locally with the Golden Gate Business Association, but also with the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce.
How hard a sell was that to NFL?
Well, really, it was our determination that
the local Super Bowl
committee. Local Super Bowl host committee,
yeah.
That as we looked at our business market here locally, that we wanted to be inclusive, and we wanted to make sure that business owners here had a chance, every chance, to compete for opportunities related to Super Bowl 50. So for us, it made sense, given who we are and given where we are here in the Bay Area.
Right. So for people, gay or non-gay, who have no idea what's really going on in the game except for the halftime show, why is this such a big deal economically for the Bay Area?
Well, of course, there's all the tourism that'll happen, but really in terms of producing a Super Bowl, I just went to my first Super Bowl in Arizona just about 3 months ago, and you know, you always think it's going to be big, but I think I was blown away by just the scale, not just, of course, of game day, but the week leading up to Super Bowl. There's hundreds of parties and events that have to be produced, and I think because people are so excited about this being here in the Bay Area, the chance for local producers, suppliers to parties, whether you're a caterer or an AV company, whether you do balloons or floral, those are all discrete opportunities for you to play a part in producing arguably the biggest event that's ever happened here.
Well, you know, that's a good point. I mean, I've been involved with the running of the Olympic torch when it was here in San Francisco on its way to Beijing. That was a big deal. Mm-hmm. We've done now 2 World Series win games. You know, we've had the Niners have a lot of big events here, but Super Bowl is arguably the biggest business sports thing that goes on in the country, if not the world.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the numbers. Just how big is it? What do we expect the economic impact will be?
Well, what we've tried to do is to say we can control and we have more touch on the actual production of things. So for example, and we'll probably talk about our Super Bowl city that's coming, that's something that we have to produce. So when we look out to our local market.
Meaning locally you have to raise money. So the NFL isn't giving you a check for this.
That's right. They do not give us a check for this. So we raise money from our great corporate sponsors who want to be a part of this Super Bowl story that's about more than just the game. And that allows us to actually directly reach out to local contractors, local providers, local suppliers and businesses and say, hey, come in and be a part of making this something great, not just for the Bay Area, but for this game.
Yeah. Talk to me about Super Bowl City. You know, people who follow the game know that there is a fan experience that the NFL always does, and my understanding is that's going to be in Moscone Center in San Francisco, and that most, if not all, the pre-parties are actually in the city. But there's something that's being done that's never been done before that's going to close a lot of streets and actually make a big free experience for fans.
That's right. So we announced about 3 weeks ago Super Bowl City, our free-to-the-public fan experience that's going to open 8 days before Super Bowl. And that's important because we're actually opening earlier than previous Super Bowls so that Bay Area residents can come down, check out what we're going to have there. We're going to have a concert series. We're going to have programming during the day all week. We're going to have all of our sponsors activating. Of course, we're going to celebrate the culinary delights of the Bay Area. Area through our food and wine. So it's going to be a great, just fun way to experience football, even if you can't get a chance to go to the game itself.
All right, and what's the footprint for that?
The footprint for that, it's going to be right in Justin Herman Plaza, right there at Embarcadero and Market Street. In fact, you mentioned the NFL Experience, the NFL's theme park that's happening at Moscone. We're going to connect these two things, our Super Bowl city and the NFL Experience, with something called the 50th mile. Obviously a nod to San Francisco's 49 miles
yeah.
and the 50th Super Bowl. And that's going to allow for us to have a nice seamless connection between these two amazing celebrations of football, of sport, of fun, and of course for us of food as well.
So not a good day for me to drive downtown, or a good week to drive downtown. I mean, basically that's what you're telling me.
Well, we love, obviously, the public transportation infrastructure we have here. So for fans from the region, it's a great way. It's right at the Embarcadero stop on BART. There's great ways to get to the venue through public transportation.
Right. If you had a message you'd like to get out, not only to the business community, but specifically to the LGBT community about this experience, what would it be? Because, let's be frank, over the years, there are a lot of sports franchises that haven't been proactively gay-friendly. Tell me how important this is to the Super Bowl 50th committee to really make this an inclusive event for all San Franciscans and all Californians.
Well, I think the message I would have is we want the world to see the Bay Area on full display. Mm-hmm. And so for us to be able to do things like through our Business Connect program to include LGBT-owned businesses, I didn't get a chance to mention the 50 Fund, which is our philanthropic initiative where nonprofit organizations can apply for funding through various programs that we have. These are all chances for us to showcase to the world what makes this area so great.
Talk to me a little bit about the Super Bowl 50th, the nonprofit component you just mentioned, because I've been reading some articles in the paper, and I believe there have been some LGBT charities already mentioned or are going to get funding. So how does a nonprofit take advantage of these monies?
So we launched the 50 Fund last fall also, and we've already put more than $2.5 million out into Bay Area nonprofits, largely through one of our programs called Game Changers, which made 5 $500,000 investments in Bay Area nonprofit organizations, all focused on serving youth from low-income backgrounds, children, youth, and young adults. So, of course, in that population, we have young people that are dealing with a lot of different challenges in their circumstances, and so many of the organizations that we fund are serving young people that really have a lot of aspirations and hopes, but face some real problems in their lives. And so these organizations are already doing things.
So, for instance, if there's an executive director of a LGBT nonprofit out there that deals with youth issues such as Lyric, or one of the other groups that deals with LGBT and questioning youth, and they say, "Wow, I'd like to take advantage of this," they can apply to the 50 Fund.
Yes, right now we actually have a grant period that'll be open until the end of May, called our Playmaker program. Now that'll open up again in August and again in November. And these are smaller grants, but grants that are project specific. We really want organizations to tell us how the work they are doing in a specific time period is impacting young people, and then we want to be able to support that. And importantly, we're actually showcasing each of these organizations with a video that we announce one organization every week for 50 weeks up to Super Bowl 50. So we already have announced 11 Playmaker grantees, and they're all getting videos about their work that we can show to the world.
And so those will be available to be viewed before the game, and I would imagine, knowing how tech-friendly the new stadium is in Santa Clara, we'll probably be able to see them down there at some point.
Well, we're really trying to make sure, the money is great. We want to be the most philanthropic Super Bowl ever, but frankly, we all believe that leveraging the platform that we have to showcase these organizations is frankly probably going to be in the long term better for these groups.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the geeky stuff. How cool is this new stadium?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I've had the chance both to go as a fan, but also to host an event there, and on both fronts. I think, from the tech to the food, it's tremendous.
Yeah, and I've heard it's the most tech-friendly stadium ever built. I mean, in what way? How is it different from? How's it different from the stick?
So,
besides being warmer and not so
windy. It is a lot warmer.
Yeah, most anything is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the ability for fans to have an immersive experience through their mobile devices while they're there at the stadium, whether it's getting replays, getting moment-by-moment information on all the things that are happening. I mean, this is just showing the rest of the sporting world how to make tech, how to integrate it into the sport on a very real-time basis.
Now, what's the feedback you're getting from people?
I
mean, regular folks. I mean, how excited are people about Super Bowl 50? I mean, I am because, one, I'm a city booster. I think it's going to be great to see the game and know it's in our hometown. I'm a little worried about all the crowds, but, you know, we'll deal with it. We're San Francisco.
Right.
What are you hearing from regular folks?
It's a great question. I mean, in general, the feedback is very positive, folks that are excited. But I would say, I mean, we are holding ourselves to account of, let us show you what we're doing. Let us actually deliver the goods that we say this is going to be the most philanthropic. We say this is going to impact the Bay Area region. Let us actually show you that we can do that. And then we would expect that you can celebrate along with us the important things we've been able to do as a result of having this important milestone game here. So we're actually okay if people are still a little skeptical that we can do this.
Yeah.
We're already doing
You like to under promise and over deliver.
That's right. But it's going to be fantastic.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
This is just two more questions. Very, very difficult questions here. Of course, it's way too early to know, but who are you going to be rooting for?
I'm going to be, you know, this is tough. So my standard
this is a dangerous
answer,
question.
The Raiders are going to be playing the 49ers.
God, there you go.
50.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll have another golden era of Joe Montana, right? I mean, who knows?
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and the last question, you know, Michael McHale, our producer, I joked with him. I said, Michael, what's the big question you're going to ask Jason here? He said, well, I mean, the gayest question of all for Super Bowl. Who's playing the halftime show? You got any juice for us?
Unfortunately, no. And I think that actually is the question that we get from everybody. It is definitely hands down.
So it's not the gay Super Bowl question.
It's the most popular question we get from everybody. Who's going to be performing? Unfortunately, we don't know yet. But
Okay,
it's going to be big.
well, we'll have you back to talk about it once you know. Thank
Certainly.
you. We've been speaking with Jason about Super Bowl 50 right here in San Francisco, the Bay Area. Next up, our conversation with one of the most dedicated activists I've ever met, Leslie Ewing, discussing her book of cartoons, It Gets Bitter. We'll be right back.